Welcome back to the BSG tournament, guys. It is going to be Unstable TV's coverage of the SC2C.com's Bronze, Silver, and Gold tournament. We're currently in the round of 8. It is still best of 1. We're going to be on Steps of War for another ZVP. It is going to be Fusion versus Elyssa. I'm just getting rid of my overlay here. So, we've actually seen a couple of games on this map so far. I just need to turn my aircon on because I am about to melt. I'll be back in a second. Alright, so my aircon remote is actually missing, so that's kind of sucky. But, so, let's have a look, see, catch up in this game. Fusion being harassful with his drone. Don't get caught out there. There we go. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is, say you've got 2 SCVs sitting here or a few Marines sitting here, you can actually mineral walk probes and drones and SCVs through those to keep them alive. Look back here, we do have a 14 hatch. Yeah. Just, if you want to ask a question, man, just post it in the stream chat, I'll see it. Now, this kind of opening on Steps of War, I feel, is the most effective. Like, there will be dissenting opinions on that, so take that as it's worth. But it's where this it doesn't stall you for any expansion. It doesn't let you have to deal with any kind of annoyance like eBay is going down to stop an expansion going up, or a bunker going down, etc. Those things like that. What did he oops at? Don't really know what he's on about, but yeah, it helps you not deal with that. Because if you do, like, the reality is, if you go for a 15 hatch or a 14 hatch, and anything is here, you're instantly delayed in your build order. Instantly. There's nothing you can do about that. And a lot of Zergs are now just realizing, oh yeah, that's true. A lot of Zergs are realizing that if they can just do the 14 hatch, 13 port, or whatever the hell it is, that isn't delayed, it won't ever muck up their timings, because some players are better at delaying hatcheries than others. Like, if you play Optic Zero, he's an absolute bastard for it. And I've seen him drop 3 or 4 pylons and cancel them one after the other just to delay this hatchery, and it's so frustrating for Zergs to deal with. I think Huck does that as well. But it just delays you. And we do have a 3 racks coming out for Elyssa. Hopefully we see that. Did we see that coming? Did we see it? Did we see it? Did we see it? No, it looks like it's going to be a blind counter here. Lucky for Fusion. We do have link speed already done. So, this thinking here, any pressure coming right about now from the Terran is going to be A, a lot of Marines and Marauders, or B, Hellions. Alright? Now, he's got the Speedlings to deal with Hellions. True, not as effective as Roaches, but still effective. He's got the Baneling Nest to help deal with a lot of Marine Marauders, so it's a very safe build order. He's now getting his expansion up. Should be transferring drones a little bit earlier. Ideally, you want the drones to show up at this expansion the second that it finishes. That's the most optimal way to do it. And yet again, you want to have ideally half the amount of drones and probes being transferred. So, we do have a lair coming out now. Second queen on the way. Nicely done. He's missing a little bit slow on the ladder inject there, buddy. But it's alright. We do have Stim being finished up for Elyssa. So, this is... Oh, we do have Combat Shield as well. Unfortunately, in this situation, Combat Shield isn't going to be that effective, because it's going to be Banelings. Yes, it will be effective versus the Zerglings. But the Banelings will still absolutely terrorize these Marines. As we can see here. 35 damage into 45. Even with the 55, it's still 2 Banelings to kill them all. So that doesn't really make a big difference. But we do have nice creep spread coming by him as well. We're just seeing an expand. 3 racks into expand is something not seen as often, but still very effective. He needs to be careful not to supply cap himself. Oh, sorry, Skybreaker. Hang on. Links should be allowed now. So, oh wow, I'll fix that later. Hang on. So we do have our lair up now. We just still don't have any kind of stuff, but we do have a push in here. We don't have enough banelings, unfortunately. But whoa, luckily is going to pay off. That last baneling needs to come back. He needs to hold it as long as he can. 18 lings on the way with a spire. He just needs to be careful. Now that baneling is going to be able to mop up all of those marines. Lings versus marauders not as effective. Needs to pull these drones back. Don't lose as many probes as you need. So he has forced this off, but let's look at what happened there. I really wish I was watching a replay in this analysis so I could go back and show you, but he didn't have a clue this guy was coming until he was right here. What can we do to fix this? We can have a Zergling here, and even if it's just a Zergling at the bottom of this ramp or at the top of this ramp, you'll give him so much more lead time. Now, you saw that as soon as he saw these guys walking up the ramp, he could make 18 Zerglings. Because Steps of War is so short, like it's like ramp to ramp, so like that. If he saw them coming there, he could have built those Zerglings when that happened, like maybe 15 or 16 instead of 18 or whatever, and wouldn't have lost any drones because he would have had those Zerglings out slightly earlier. Now, thankfully, he is doing this time, and oh, he's not going to see the expansion go down, but still, going to be worth it. We do have the Spire out now for him. He's got 6 Mutalisks on the way. He's actually supply capped at the moment. So something that like a lot of players get frustrated with is supply capping themselves, and I don't think they realize how badly it impacts your build. It is very, very, very important not to supply cap yourself, because it really is. Let's have a look here. Overlord build time is 25 seconds, or in-game seconds, like 20 real seconds. That's 20 seconds that you can't build anything. For example, you supply cap yourself and he walks up your ramp, you're screwed. Because you can't build any more units, especially as a Zerg player. And on the other hand, if you try and attacking a window before those banelings come out and you supply cap yourself, that could win or lose you the game. And we do have some nice harass with these Mutalisks coming in now. What you want to do is you want to focus down the mules first, because the glaives will still bounce off and hit the... Whoa, you don't want to get them stuck in the marines though. The glaives will bounce off and hit the SCVs and kill them anyway, but if you can take out these mules, it's definitely more worth it. We do have a factory going down now, only just now. We do have upgrades coming out for our Terran player, which is good, but no turrets yet. Needs turrets. As soon as you see those Mutalisks, turrets everywhere. Because it completely nullifies the Zerg's ability to harass you. We do have a lot more Marauders coming out to the front. Unfortunately, this is not a good idea, being this Marauder heavy, simply because, hey, free food. Look at that. Can't do anything. Now, when you got this many Mutalisks, I was saying in a couple of games beforehand, this is when you want to start getting some Thors out. We do have turrets now in this mineral line. We don't have many Marines, though. You'd want us... here's another point. Sorry, I'm all over the place at the moment. This is I'm analysing the live game. You have a tech lab. Does not mean you have to build a Marauder. Absolutely not. You can still build Marines. He has a heap of Mutalisks. You have a heap of Marauders. What do you want to do? It's okay to build Marines out of these ones with the tech labs. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. In fact, it's more beneficial to do that. So, food for thought. We do have an armory coming down, so we're going to see a Thor coming out now for elyssa. The more you play, the more feeling you'll have for these kind of timings. So you'll know and be able to preempt. You go, okay, it's about 13 minutes a game. This is when the second Mutalisk harass will come, or this is when Mutalisk normally come. It's not, but I'm just pulling numbers out of my ass. But you'll know when to get those turrets up to stop this kind of thing happening. You'll know when to get that Thor out. Because right now, these Mutalisks are absolutely wreaking havoc on this Terran. Forcing Sims, he's actually got enough Mutalisks. He might actually be able to win the game right here. 3 turrets now, this is what I'm talking about. These turrets really do shut down Mutalisks. They do an insane amount of damage to them. Is it worth leaving or skipping an NG bay to get Thors out and use the defense until you move out? It's 50-50. It's a personal preference. Turrets will be a lot more efficient in the early time. It's more of a, holy crap, I need to get defenses up. But Thors are, once the Mutalisk numbers get so high, like Once you get about 20 to 30 Mutalisks, you can come in and one-shot turrets, and that's when they don't become a problem anymore. That's the timing you want Thors, to be able to deal with that many Mutalisks. So hopefully that makes sense to you. We do have a good third timing by our Zerg player now. Needs a lot more units though. He's only 125 supply. But a lot of those are in Mutalisk. We'll be able to take out this factory. But completely mopped up by the Banelings. I've said it every game. I'm sorry if I'm saying it again, but you really want one, like even if it's just 2 or 3 tanks to back yourself up there to help deal with those Banelings. Stim your Marines, run them straight backwards, split them up, do whatever, bother the tanks, take out the Banelings. If we have a look here, elyssa is pretty safe at his natural, or her natural, whatever the hell he is. But it's at this point where, see how the turrets die so quickly to this amount of mutas? This is where you need Thors. Now what you can do is you can park one Thor here. You can park another Thor in your other mineral line, things like that. But yeah, lots and lots of Banelings coming in. But have a look at the income tab. We're at 58 to 35 now, so this Mutalisk harass is keeping the SCV count down, which is keeping the Terran in his base. Because of mules, he will mine out a lot quicker than the Zerg, and that is when you got to be careful. A lot of Terrans will 2-base, 200 pop push. That's the stuff Zergs have to worry about. And you've got really 2 ways of dealing with that. Right, one is mass expand. Play kind of like Protoss did versus Terran in StarCraft 1. Just mass expand. Get the eco, and then just have enough production to be able to just constantly reinforce against that 200 army. Or the other option is, if you've gotten to the point where you can really reinforce your army, and you've used Mutalisks well enough to keep that SCV count down and keep the population down, as Fusion's doing here. If you're lagging, just refresh the stream, man. It should be fine. Now I've lost my train. If you've been doing a good job with your Mutalisks, like Fusion has here, and kept the SCV count down, and not allowing that Terran to get to that point. Once you get 3 or 4 bases as a Zerg, get 200 supply, and if you've got the economy to support it, there is nothing wrong with trading armies. In fact, it's probably a better option. 200 Zerg army will never win a straight up fight with a Protoss ball or a Terran ball. Will not happen. This is why Zerg can reinforce so damn quickly, is because it will not happen. Unless you've like completely lucked out and you've completely hard counted. But that's not the point. Right now we're looking at 142 supply for Fusion. He's got a nice saturation at his third and his second. This is when he wants to take a third base. Most likely this gold, because he does have some nice creep spread all the way up here. Probably could use another 1 or 2. He does have 94 energy on that queen. There's nothing wrong with jumping around 3 Kumas down here and coming back in between lava bursts. Allow him to get that creep to the gold base, take that one there. He's getting to the point where he gets 200 pop. Because there isn't as many tanks here, not usually the case by the way, but it's because there's not as many tanks as normal, you can just move your army straight in there once you get to that 200 level. Simply because you are trading armies with the Terran player, not allowing him to get to that critical mass point where your army just melts to it. And we are looking like we're having 200 pop here soon. We are seeing our Fusion player take his gold base. A little bit slower than I would have liked, but still, it's alright. And the typical situation of having too much stuff. Bam. Unfortunately, not magic boxing again. There is a GG coming out from elyssa, so Fusion will go into the semi-final. But not magic boxing. He hasn't magic boxed in the last game either. That could have really kind of turned around to bite him. It's a very small thing to work on, but it will help his game ridiculously. So let me just save that VOD and we'll go into the next game.